I have to say, I love my wife. She's wonderful. We also have found that it's a great thing to have somebody there when you get to sort of an awkward moment, and you feel like I don't know what I would do just by myself here. But fortunately, I can kind of check in with this other person to be like, this is nuts, right? Like that's half of the joy. Like for instance, I found that I'm such a nice dude. I don't like to be in uncomfortable situations where I have to extricate myself. And the one that I've not figured out how to get myself out of is when you're in a situation and you're about to buy something, and then you find out it is gonna be way more than you thought it was going to cost. And finding a way to just back out and be like, I'm sorry, no money, and then walk out. Like it's... So I hadn't really been fully experienced with this, but then for Christmas, my wife bought me a couple of prints off of Etsy, and she was like, why don't we go and get them framed? And I don't know if anybody's ever been to a framing store before, but the whole feeling of something about to cost a lot more than you thought it was going to cost might as well just say on the top of every frame store. So I got these two prints. They're kind of nice. They're rolled up in a little tube. Going to the museum quality framing store where my wife had purchased a $75 gift certificate for $150 worth of museum quality framing. And I was like, this sounds great. We're gonna have so much money for leftover frames at the end. So we walk into the shop, nobody else in there. By the way, usually when you walk into a frame store, nobody else in the shop. You have the full undivided attention of the person working there. Whatever sort of like pressure sensors that they put into like jewelry stores, they also put into frame stores. So if you step on one, some dude whops out the back, hi, how you doing? We had his full undivided attention. Guy comes out, he's like, hi, what are we doing for you today? I was like, well, I got these 2 print things here. He's like, oh, okay. Clears off his whole table. He unrolls them, puts like some leather weights on. They're all fancy. I'm like, oh, that's cool. All right. He's like, so cool. These are great. What are you thinking today? I was like, flat. Flat on a wall. That's pretty much. They're in a tube now, and that's not doing anything for anyone. So, what do you got? And he's like, okay, well, let's see. Let's take a look here. So we've got this. Now, what kind of matting do you want to go with these frames? I was like, matting? He was like, oh yeah. Do you want to just like some matting? I call out these. I was like, oh, interesting. He's like, yeah, because this one is like brown and yellow. So we could do some matting with like this dark green and kind of a forest color in here. We could do then some yellow. I was like, you can do 2 mats? He's like, oh, we can do 2 mats. We can do 3 mats. I was like, all right, this is cool. I'm having fun at the frame store. All right, all right, cool. And then he's like, what do you want for, what do you think about the actual frame themselves? I was like, I'm thinking right angles. That's it. I'm not really too picky. He's like, because we have all these various options here. And he turns around that big wall of fancy boomerangs that they have at the frame store. He's pulling out like that little hook and getting ones off the top. Just these ones are nice. He's hanging them down here. I'm like, okay. And then he says, now, glass. What do you want to do about glass? I was like, that sounds nice. Let's do it. And he's like, because we have a couple of different options for glass. We have the regular glass, and then we also have the museum quality framing glass. And I don't know if anybody's ever seen the display between the regular glass and the museum quality glass. The regular glass looks like it's just been cleaned with pizza. It is. It's got scuffs and scratches. It looks like it was trying to keep like a Doberman back for a while or something. And then the museum quality glass, it looks like it's made of an element you never knew existed. It's just kind of like, I probably don't, oh wow, that's actually hard. I thought it was a force field kind of thing, but there's something there I wouldn't have guessed. Okay. All right, well, I think we're gonna probably want to go with the museum quality glass then. And so, by the way, where are we at, just from a price standpoint? He's like, okay, well, let's see where we sit right here. And he pulled out one of those little solar-powered tabletop calculators. If you ever see one of those come out somewhere, you're gonna pay a lot, because that thing's all off the books, no internet. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of money. So he's typing it up. He's like, okay, let's see here. All right, so for this one here, for the Captain America one, we're looking at $380. That's if we go with the regular glass, or if we do the museum quality glass, $420. And I turned to my wife, and I was like, 40 cents? That doesn't seem like such a big deal. And then that moment, I was like, dollars? No. And I remember it getting so hot in the store, I was like, okay. All right, so Wow, okay, well, first of all, thank you for all the hard work that you've done here, sir. Now, if I were to tell you that I have a $150 Groupon that I was hoping to exit the store without having to pay any more money, what would you say to that? He was like, you don't have anything but the Groupon? I was like, yep. He's like, okay. He just grabbed all the stuff they've been working on, just kind of shoved it all into the bin over on the side, and then reached under the counter. Might as well just pull out a box that had crap frames on them. And he's like, all right, here we go. Let's see, we could do this brown one here, and then we could do this silver. Oh, it's chipped. All right, no, it's black one here. So brown and silver. You think of that? I'm like, yeah, no adding? He's like, no adding, regular glass. I was like, oh, okay. So as he's finishing all this and tapping it up, it still cost me like an extra $74 on top of all of this to get these things framed. And as he's typing them up, he also was like, oh, quick question, what is the approximate retail value of this? So just, we need to insure it for, if it's damaged as we're working on it. I was like, sweetie, what do you think? $40? I think $40, I think was the approximate retail value. This is not like a piece of Abraham Lincoln's hat or something that I'm giving you that I need to be entombed in lucite or anything. And so as this guy is adding everything up, I'm looking around the store, and I notice they have all these other framed pieces of artwork that are larger and cheaper than what I'm going to be purchasing. So part of me was kind of like, hey, can I just buy one of these and you just cut up the raw goods and that would just be enough for you? And apparently no. My other suspicion is that all of these framed works that are in these framing shops were actually projects that somebody had brought in. And then when they showed up, they were like, wait, you want how much for it? Keep it. And now you have so many pictures of ducks, you'll never know what to do with them all. So you guys have been a wonderful audience. Thank you so much. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed telling it. Make sure to download the official Dry Bar Comedy app and use my name, Drew Barth, when you sign up. And I'll get a thumbs up and a lollipop and a couple of hats. Is that right? I get hats? I think I get hats. Something. Drew Barth when you sign up.